going on, folks? Something that's a little bit more off the cuff today, since I wasn't sure if I'd be able to plan it out at all. And I knew if I spent too long trying to plan it and come up with an idea and then have to figure out how to edit it later, it probably wasn't going to happen. This is one of those things where I'm just like, I need to sit down, I need to get set up and just go for broke and talk about things and get it off my chest. So there's not going to be a whole lot of edits in this. It's going to be pretty much what you're going to see. You know, what you see is what you get in this case. I am armed and ready, so we're just going to go for it once I can get this open. There we go. So the topic at hand today, and I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to record it, but I figured it's a topic, I might as well record it and see what happens and go for it, is just, and it seems like it might be kind of early. Some people are going to say, well, man, you've only been putting up content for like a month now. But it's something that dates back older than this. And I mean, hell, I've been on YouTube since 2006 and I've been uploading content off and on for pretty much that entire time. It's keeping the drive to create content for, you know, even when there's other factors that are coming against you, and not making it very easy. I lost my voice there. There we go. And that's, I can't tell if that's being picked up on the microphone. That's part of one of the things I want to cover today too, because it was a variety of factors that came into play. So the one thing I probably should start with, 2 months ago, I moved into a different house, and it's with a friend of mine from high school and his girlfriend, and one of her friends, along with her boyfriend, you know, have one of the other rooms. I was living across town. I was over in the northwest area of Las Vegas, and I was living with an old coworker of mine who owned a house out there. I'd been living with them for 3.5 years. The problem is that area of town is hard to get to for the most part. And even if you're driving, it's a hell of a trip. It's going to take you a while. So I didn't have a whole lot of people that came out and visited me very often. And when I was no longer working downtown, which surprisingly from an area that far out, getting downtown was pretty easy. Once I was no longer working there, I realized I'm too far away from things. I'm too secluded. And when I was out of work 7 months up until the end of March. It really did not help my mental health at all. It was really bad there for a while. And I wasted a lot of time. It's like I could have gotten started, you know, I started streaming on Twitch more often, but I was not doing anything really on YouTube other than I did one video, and I was putting up VODs from my Twitch channel because I thought, well, I'm not using YouTube for anything. I might as well just put stuff here and deal with it later. Or if people want to watch it, great, because they only stick around for I think 60 days on Twitch when you have old broadcasts. So when I got this job that I'm working right now, I knew I'm going to have to get out of that area of town. I'm going to have to move at least somewhat closer to where I'd be working and where I would potentially be working again in the future, just because, you know, what I'm doing right now is all temp contract work through a staffing agency. My buddy David from high school, you know, renting out this house, and it's a 4-bedroom house. So I thought, well, shit, all right, the price was fine, and I knew I'd be making that much. So, you know, I agreed to move in because I knew it was also going to help them too, because it's not a cheap place to rent. The one thing I didn't realize, though, is that not David's girlfriend, but her friend was pregnant. You know, I didn't find that out until a couple days before I moved in. I thought, that's not the situation I want to move into. And the thing I didn't realize before I moved in was, you know, how bad how bad sound would travel throughout this entire house, because it's all tile. You know, it's tile and walls. And even with a door draft stopper that I have now for my room, and I put up foam squares in several different places just to kind of deaden sound here, it doesn't do much. The walls are relatively thin, And, you know, the littlest things kind of get through. And honestly, some folks just, I don't think, remember there's other people in the house because they're loud. It, you know, I don't think there's no maliciousness behind it. That's just how it is. But they don't notice it. And if you go back to my Nakata market video that I just put up recently, I even point out some of the sounds that happen because I cut out some of them. There's probably one or two more that are in there that I didn't notice, but there they are. And it's frustrating because I've been trying to do this, and, you know, there's no way to, it's a combination of, you know, them doing something, but not out of maliciousness, and maybe not being aware of it, but certainly not being, you know, and it just can't be helped. But I figured I had a little bit more time before the roommate that was pregnant was going to have their baby, because I knew at that point, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, except I think that's happening, you know, this week right now. And it just made me think about it, and I thought, how the fuck am I going to be able to do anything? How am I going to be able to record here in the house? Because it's hard enough. I can't record something downstairs because I don't know what's going to be, you know, who's going to be coming down to do something in the kitchen or in the living room. There's 3 dogs in here, by the way, too, so that doesn't fucking help. And one of them just is always loud. Them coming down the stairs is like a herd of fucking buffalo. So that doesn't help. It's going to get harder to do anything here. It's going to get hard to even stream. And streaming's easy for them, you know, in comparison to thinking up ideas to record for YouTube and, you know, going out and filming and then coming back and editing. It's like, I'm on my streaming equipment right now. I'm recording with my webcam. I got my microphone hooked up. You know, it's not the greatest, but it's like, this is the kind of stuff where you just kind of plug everything in, you turn on OBS, you connect, and that's it. But, you know, this is an omnidirectional microphone. I'd love to get something that's more unidirectional. That way it's only going to pick up me and it won't pick up anybody else. That'd be fine. I think that'd be great if I had something like that. It should be something I invest in, but, you know, how much that's going to help, if it's going to be the kind of catch-all fix that I need, that it's like, okay, yeah, if it's only going to face me and it only picks up my voice and it's not so sensitive that it's going to pick up something that's happening downstairs, it's projecting through walls, cool, but I don't know if that's the case. But, you know, that's been frustrating. But that made me start thinking about the videos that I've put up already. And sorry if my hands, that's my thing. I try to not do it so much when I'm recording, and I know one thing that I've noticed is I don't look at the camera well enough. Although if I'm recording with my phone, seeing the lens on that camera is difficult. And another thing, I just usually will finish sentences and I'll look away. That's just something I got to work on. But yeah, the biggest, one of the other things that I started thinking about was just, you know, audience engagement anyways. Because I've put up, 4 videos. I got a 5th one in the works, and this will be basically number 6. You know, I've been trying to produce content at my own goal of once a week. I don't have to keep myself to that, but I thought that's an achievable goal if I can continue to come up with ideas. You know, 2 to 3 videos a month wouldn't be too bad. But engagement with the audience and having people show up and watch, that's not happening, but that's not a recent trend. You know, I've put up stuff, you know, the Kamino Cho and Kabuki Cho video that I put up last December, you know, that's been up almost 6 months, and I don't even think it's cracked 700 views. And it's something where it's like, I tagged the shit out of that motherfucker, and I figured people are looking up, you know, Yakuza stuff, and they're going to be looking for things like that, hopefully, or they're going to be looking up Kabuki Cho because maybe they're going to be visiting Japan, because Kabuki Cho is worth checking out. It's pretty crazy. You know, it hasn't gotten a whole lot of traction. But if you look at a lot of the videos that I've put up, I don't get a whole lot of traction on much of anything. Like my VODs from Twitch, that 100% makes sense. Some of those are like 3 hours long, 4 hours long. No one's sitting down and watching that at all. But that was more just kind of to put them up. And I've stopped doing that simply because I keep getting flagged for copyright claims because I use music once in a while on my streams. Definitely need the beer today. But, I think the highest rated video I have, what is that? Let me take a quick look. Bust out my phone here. The video I have that has the most views at 120,000, which is pretty good, is from 8 years ago, but it's not even content I produced by myself. I literally took Ahmed Johnson cutscenes from WWF Warzone and put them together because I kept finding separate ones, and I said, let's just put them. Whoop, that's my pen. I put them all together. See, pen. I put them all together in one compilation and uploaded it, and it got traction. Not that it really helped because it wasn't filtering into anything else. Nobody else was checking out my videos. No one was subscribing. And that's been a consistent problem with content I've created over the years, like doing Twitch. My Twitch schedule is based around the days I know people that I personally know can tune in and watch. That's how it is. I used to write for a blog years ago, Pinecone Attack. If you look them up now, they're known as Outdated References. The website's not there anymore. They produce a podcast every once in a while. And my buddy Nathan is Outdated References. I believe he changed that name here on YouTube, and he also streams under that name once in a while and shows up and, whenever he can to watch my stuff. But, that even there, it's like I wrote a good number of articles, and it was just something where I put a lot of work into it as much as I could, within the level of skill that I have and the level of talent I have. It's the same thing when I try to stream. It's the same thing when I put stuff up on here on YouTube. I do what I can, I do the best I can, and I do enjoy creating the content. The problem is that, and I don't know if this is a bad thing or not, I feed off of interaction and people seeing it, which is stupid in my head sometimes because I'm the kind of person that loves to be low key. I don't like to attract attention to myself. I don't want people, even at work, I'm like, I will do a really good job and I'll do the best I can with my tasks. And I like when people tell me I'm doing a good job, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, just tell me and let me continue to, fly under the radar as far as I can, because I don't really like being the center of attention. Again, pretty stupid if I'm trying to do stuff that's centered on recording content for people to see or broadcasting for people to see. That just requires you to be the center of attention. But I realize how much I feed off of that it's not enough for me to create the content. For me, it's to see people come in and view it and comment on it and talk about it. When I'm streaming, I notice that if I have one person if I have no people, I'm on for like a half hour and I stop, because there's literally no reason for me to be recording and having a camera pointed at myself and to be addressing literally nobody. I can't be talking, let's talk to the audience right now, or saying hi to everybody. There's nobody there. But when I get like 4 or 5 people in, and I think maximum I've hit maybe almost 20, I don't remember. It was around the time the Resident Evil 2 remake demo dropped. I got a pretty heavy duty spike, and they stuck around for a little bit. And I immediately noticed the difference in my performance and how I was interacting and how I felt, because I was just like, fuck, there's people there. And when there's people that are there, let me turn off my screensaver. When there's people that are there and they're interacting with each other, and I'm talking to them in the chat, and they're asking me questions, or they're dropping, knowledge on me. Certainly my buddy Dash No Chris, whenever he comes in, he's a really good, there's the dogs. Let me stop real quick. Okay, we're good. Nope. Are they done? I hope so. So, my buddy Dash No Chris will be there, and he'll drop some good knowledge, because he's got a pretty good encyclopedic knowledge of old fighting games, and certainly anything Japan related from about the early to mid 90s, because he's a pretty heavy collector on that. It motivates me. It wants me to stick around. It keeps me wanting to do that. When put up my recent video about the origins of my screen name, there was people that showed up and they were commenting and they were sharing their stories and offering up, you know, how they got to their names and the different ones they've used. It's great. I love seeing that. I want to see more of it. But it comes down to, even with that, the folks that are interacting with my videos are people I know. Like, I do share this stuff. I share it on Twitter. I share it on my personal Facebook because I'm just like, I want people to see it and I want people to know what I'm doing if they're interested. But there's not a whole lot of interest. I don't have a ton of friends on Facebook. But like, if I had gotten everybody that's on my list to at least come by and view it once and drop a comment potentially, like, that'd be fantastic. You know, that would at the very least let me know, okay, someone's actually checking it out. You know, and I have people that I know on Twitter that will retweet those things, and hopefully their audience will see it. But I don't see people coming in, and even amongst the people I know, there's only a small fraction of them that show up. And it's hard to think that you can build an audience of people you don't know when you can't even build an audience of people you do know. It's rough, and it makes it hard to want to create content, you know. And I'm sitting at a case where I'm like, I want to create content, but if there's no audience, you know, then what's the point of creating content? But if I decide for myself, okay, yeah, I want to create content, how the hell am I going to do it in a house where there's going to be constant sound bleed over, and I don't have the kind of equipment or the kind of setup necessary where I know I could literally just block out all sound and it's just me in my recording space, and it's only going to pick up me and it's going to be fine. Because it's like, it doesn't matter what's in the house. I have windows. I have two behind me, and I have one to my right here. And, you know, you can hear people on the street. You know, I can hear stuff from the street just west of here, because we're right next to a street, and it comes in through the house. And I guarantee you, if I'm recording with my phone, it's going to fucking pick up the audio. So it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. And the audience building part, I don't know. Like, you can find all kinds of things for how to build a brand, but I'm like, I guess I could make myself the brand, but I'm like, I'm not trying to sell anything other than, you know, yeah, I had lamented in what is essentially episode 0 of what I'm trying to do now here on the channel, in that all I have to offer is myself. That's all I have. You know, and I can only offer my own thoughts and opinions on certain things or topics I think are interesting, and sharing the stuff I like, and hope that that's enough. But that's the reality. Is how many people have, certainly like even just within the last decade, have come on here and tried to use their channels, and maybe even for 6 months, 12 months, however long, where we're recording and we're like, fuck yeah, man, we're gonna make content and it's gonna be great. And they petered out because they just didn't find the audience. And that stuff's, how many people might have that? I know I've run into a couple of channels where it's like they produce content for a little while and the content's still there, and I think they're still using the account, but they just kind of, you know, the dream is dead, essentially. You know, I've tried for at least a couple of times where I was posting, you know, videos of bugs I was running into. This is a long time ago. We're trying to get people in here. I put up content that I recorded back in high school, hoping that, you know, hey, maybe J-drama people will show up and they'll share it and I'll get views and I'll get, you know, I can't even monetize my channel anymore because YouTube fucking changed that. You know, if this was 2006, 2007, I might have a much easier time trying to build an audience because there's less people. It's 2019, you know, the people that actually do have an audience, because I follow a number of folks, you know, people like Abroad in Japan and Simon and Martina, and, you know, I follow a lot of J vloggers just because, you know, after coming back from Japan, that's where a lot of my interests lie, and it's kind of nice to have that window into that world. You know, they have lots of viewers, but, you know, they spent, I don't know how long. I know Simon and Martina spent like 2 years not even getting paid because they couldn't monetize the channel in Asia. And, you know, that still would have taken a long time to really build up that following. And, you know, I think abroad in Japan, I think Chris Broad took 3 years. It took a little while before it finally caught on, you know, and I think it even took a while before he finally really found his groove. So it's not a case of how long is it going to take. I don't think they even got into it knowing it was going to work out for him. It's just, you know, it took him until a certain period of time to get successful and to remain successful. And they started out early. I'm 35, man. I'll be 36 in a few months. You know, I'm coming into this shit really late. And I'm not worried about having the right kind of tools to do it, because I do have tools available. And I think it's more about using what's available to you and doing the best you can with it, as opposed to going out. Like, I could be an idiot and go out and buy a brand new computer that can do 4K 60 editing and get really high-end fucking equipment, get a mirrorless camera, all this other shit. It'd be great, and all my stuff's going to look really good, but what difference is it going to make if there's nobody still watching it anyway? So I might as well do what I can with what's there. It's just, you know, I guess it's a third thing we just found. It's a matter of being in a place where, can I even create content successfully without running into too many problems, or am I going to have to, like, constantly go to other places and attempt to record and have to deal with that? I'm still getting used to just shooting stuff in public. And then it's okay, if I can work around all that and I can still create content, do I still want to? Because, you know, if I can't get people I even know to watch my stuff, how the hell am I going to build an audience? And then it's a case of also, how the hell can I even carve a niche out for myself? I don't know. Let me check that. It's my roommate. How the hell am I going to be able to carve a niche out for myself when I'm coming into this so late? And it's, you know, to me, honestly, it is a young person's game. That's not entirely true, but I think it's mostly true. You got guys like Techmoan, and Techmoan's in his 40s. He's probably closer into his 50s, but he'd been doing it for a long time, and I think that took him a while. You know, and I think only within the last few years, he really hit his stride to where I think a lot. He's hitting his stride where the content's getting really good and his production's getting really good. But that was a niche. The products he covers and the weird stuff he's covered, I think he had God, I said it again. That's a niche that he covered, that he knew a lot about. And, you know, also for some of the crazier stuff that would have cost a lot of money, the capital to do it. You know, not everybody's going to be able to do something like that. But look at all the people that are, I think, really successful. They might be in their 30s. They might be going into their mid 30s. They might be as old as I am, but they've been doing it for so long. You know, they started when they were young, and I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know where to go with this. It's going to be a weird ride, and it's something I want to continue to keep up with. Like, I want to continue streaming. That's the easiest thing. Like, even if this falls apart, you know, I can always put up clips from stuff on my Twitch channel when I do that, and put it up on here and hopefully share it, and maybe that'll take off, because there's people that are successful in Twitch that have YouTube channels that, you know, they get at least a little bit of success. I don't know. And it's interesting because I love to pick the brains of the people that I admire, and I love their content here on the site. But you really can't just reach out to those people and expect them to help you, because not only they're busy doing their own thing. How many people are probably hitting them up on a weekly basis, and they're like, hey, can you give me pointers and all this other stuff? You know, if I'm going to contact them, I'd rather tell them, you know, short and sweet, hey, thanks for doing what you do, because it's an inspiration to me to want to do this. But yeah, I'd love to find out how they kept their motivation and what they did to really kind of just generate ideas and keep themselves going. But in cases like that, I believe it just kind of happened. They more or less just said, all right, you know, we want to produce the content anyways, and we don't care. I'd love to be at the point where it's like, I just don't give a shit if anybody watches or not. But to me, if you're going to produce content and nobody watches, why? What's the point? You know, self-fulfillment. Yeah, I love editing the videos together and, You know, I love the satisfaction of completing something. But if no one's going to see it, what's the point? You know, I'll find something else that I can do that gives me the satisfaction of completing a project, that I'll get back to trying to learn how to oil paint, you know, or start. That's something I need to start. Add it to the list of things I'd like to do, and I just don't have the time. And, you know, I wish I had done it when I was unemployed, because then I had all the time in the world, but that's a topic for another day. All right, this has gotten rambly, and I think I've kind of covered it. Apologies if it's a bit too much to take in and it sounds too bitchy. I tried to kind of narrow that down, because the situation for at least my living space and where I want to record, that's just, it is what it is. I can't help it unless I move out. And I don't think I could do that until I'm like really 100% like gainfully employed. If I managed to find something at the money I'm making right now and it was full time and I get everything, yeah, I probably would do that. In the meantime, this is the card that I've been dealt, or the cards, and I just have to live with it and work around it as best I can. So until then, yeah. But anyways, if you've managed to make it this far, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Again, I hope it's not too much bitching, but I definitely had to get this off of my chest. So yeah, kudos to you if you made it all the way through. And if you kind of like off the cuff stuff like this, if you're somebody out there that's actually watching this right now, yeah, give me a like, throw a subscribe my way, put a comment down below, you know, about your thoughts, especially if you've produced content in the past, and, you know, whether it's art or writing or video production or anything, and let me know what you think about that. But for now, that's it. Thank you very much again. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody. Take it easy.